Hey, you guys. Um, I think I need a little help on the stream. As far as one part of it, there's two parts to the stream. It's very short. If there was any more to the stream, I don't remember. There's just these two things stood out to me, or I remember. I was in a beach house on the ocean. There was sand, and I was in a little beach house. It seemed as if this house was a little elevated and it was directly on the beach. Okay. So somebody in the house said, "Look, the water's creeping up to the house." So they opened the door from inside the house, and there was this blackish, it wasn't black. Yeah, it had like, it was dark. The water was dark, like black. It wasn't black, but it was just like water that had black stuff in it. And was up to the door. I was like, oh my gosh. So I shut the door. And I'm not sure if this part came first or second, but I opened the door to look out, and there were cars on the sand, like six cars parked directly in front of the house. And it was obvious that the water was coming up. Like this water was swole, like the ocean had swole. And I seen people, instead of running away from the cars, I had just had the knowing that the waves were coming in. I can't say tsunami, and I can't say this was just a regular high tide event. I don't know what to call it, you guys. So they knew that the water was coming in, and the water levels were rising. And it was like, as the water was about to come in, people jumped in their cars that were parked in the sand directly in front of this beach house, in order so they could just like drive away before the wave came in. It was kind of weird, you guys. So, like I said, I don't know which part came in, you know, first or second with that, but like a blackish water, not black, but water that had black stuff in it. Okay, guys? And then the second part, I was in this house. I felt like I was still in this house. Again, I don't know which part came first, this part or the second part with the water coming in up towards the house. There was a man wearing red overalls, like the one I'm going to use in this thumbnail. And in the dream, I knew this guy to be like a fisherman, or a man who knew how to fish. Like, he knew what to do to fish or catch fish. And the overalls that he had on kind of were like waterproof, like something you wear in the wet area. Like, I can't say plastic, but maybe, like water resistant or something. I don't know. They weren't, I just felt like they were for fishermen, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. So I've never seen them in red either. Um, so I had there was some chopped up shrimp in two piles, and it seemed like in the middle there was these other shrimp that hadn't been chopped up to pieces, but more whole, like no head, no tail, but more whole. And he told me to use those particular pieces to catch to to catch fish. So not the chopped up pieces, but he was telling me to use like the whole pieces of the shrimp. Like if you bought frozen shrimp. But these, I knew these shrimp were raw. They weren't frozen. They were like fresh shrimp. So it the I was like, okay, this guy was handsome in this dream, okay, y'all. But one thing I noticed about his overalls was that they were kind of high water too. You know what I mean? Like they didn't come all the way down to where his feet would be. They were kind of like high water. Not too high water, but the pants were high water at the bottom. The bib, the overall. Um, what was I gonna say? Something else. Oh, so looking up the overalls, it just reminded me, which I didn't think about it when I was having the dream. I was thinking Fisherman. He was giving me advice on how to fish. And then the dream ended, of course, you guys, that I know of. But I was thinking as I was looking up these overalls, well, a carpenter wears these types of overalls. You usually see them in a camel or tan color, like from Carhartt or something like that. It just, I just realized that not only, was this person in the dream who may have been representative, of course, of Jesus. Now that I think about it, when I think about the carpenter wearing those, also, I just never, I just looking them up, I was like, well, I've never seen red, you know, and I've definitely, maybe I should look up the fishermen to see what type of material that they have. Okay? But this thing about the shrimp, I did look up a couple species of shrimp, of fish that can be caught with shrimp. And if I see anything that's significant, as I get more revelation, then I'll make another video. But some type of water event, you guys, I've seen a few people jump in their car instead of getting out the way of this tide that was bringing in this dark water. Instead of just getting out the way, they took the chance, which I believe they made it, to jump in their cars to drive their cars off the beach before this second wave, I feel like, of dark water in the ocean. This dark ocean water was coming up. Okay, don't know what it quite means, but I wanted to put it out there before I forgot. I do have other videos that I want to make. I just been keeping some notes. Okay, talk with you guys later. Any fishermen that have any thoughts about that, let me know. Okay, in the comments.